key to endless nightmares. I always thought the old, rusted key I found in my grandmother's attic was just a relic from a forgotten past until the night I used it on my apartment door. As the lock clicked with an otherworldly resonance, I felt an icy shiver run down my spine. I stepped through, expecting nothing more than the familiar confines of my living room, but instead, I found myself in a version of my life where everything seemed perfect. My childhood dog alive and playful, my parents never divorced, and I was married to my high school sweetheart. It was mesmerizing, and for a moment, I almost forgot it wasn't real until I looked into a mirror and saw a version of myself smiling back that I didn't recognize. That smile was too wide, too knowing, and it whispered, "This is just the beginning." The next night, curiosity overpowered caution, and I turned the key again. This time, the door creaked open to a timeline where shadows danced like living entities across the walls, and the air was heavy with a sense of impending doom. I was alone, utterly alone, in a world where every photograph showed a different family, each with my face, but none of them familiar. As I wandered through this unsettling realm, I heard whispers behind locked doors, pleas for help, cries of despair, and the chilling realization that each plea was a version of myself trapped within. It was a disorienting maze of fear, and the more I tried to escape, the deeper I was pulled into its nightmarish embrace. Determined to find a door that would lead me back to my original life, I continued to spin the key, each turn unspooling a new, darker reality. In one, I was a renowned author, beloved and celebrated, but every book I wrote foretold disasters that came true, leaving a trail of death and destruction. In another, I was an inmate in a prison of my own making, the walls closing in as I realized my crimes were not committed by me, but the other versions of me that had crossed over. Each timeline was a twisted reflection of choices I never made, paths I never took. Yet here they were, taunting me with the consequences of roads untraveled. The final turn of the key led to the most harrowing revelation. I stepped into a dimly lit room, walls adorned with clocks ticking out of sync, each representing a life I had touched. In the center, a figure sat with its back to me, a version of myself, gaunt and hollow-eyed, scribbling furiously in a journal. As I approached, it spoke without turning. "Every door you open brings us closer to the end." I realized with dawning horror that the timelines were collapsing, converging into a singularity that would erase all existence. The key, once a symbol of possibility, was now a harbinger of annihilation. I turned to flee, but the door had vanished, leaving me trapped in this temporal purgatory with my own desperate reflections marking the countdown to oblivion.